The deep silence of the space station was broken only by the soft hum of its engines. Commander Elias Vance sat alone in his quarters, staring at the stars beyond the wide viewing panel. The darkness of space always had a way of making him feel small but also strangely powerful. Humanity had come far, so far that now men and women lived among the stars. Yet Elias knew something was wrong. Something was coming and he could feel it. For years, whispers traveled through the fleets and colonies about the Zorath, a warlike alien empire that had already destroyed 3 smaller civilizations. They were ruthless, intelligent, and efficient. But what unsettled Elias most was that they had not yet made a direct move toward Earth. It was as if they were waiting, watching. Elias rubbed his eyes, exhausted. The War Council had been in endless meetings. Supplies were thin, morale was lower, and the humans still did not have enough allies to stand against the Zorath. The fragile treaties with other alien races were built more on fear of the Zorath than on trust in humanity. He leaned back on his bunk, hoping for a moment of rest when the quiet hiss of the automatic door broke the silence. Elias froze. No, one had permission to enter his quarters without request. Slowly he sat up, ready to call security. That was when he saw her. The figure that stepped into the room was unlike anyone he had ever seen. She was tall, slender, and moved with a grace that seemed almost unreal. Her skin shimmered faintly, not like light, but as though her body reflected the depth of the stars themselves. Her eyes were large, glowing faintly with a soft silver hue. For a moment, Elias thought he was dreaming. She carried nothing but a small spherical device cradled carefully in her hands. It pulsed with dim blue light as if alive. "Commander Elias Vance," she spoke softly, her voice layered, one tone human, the other carrying a faint echo, as though more than one being was speaking through her. Elias stood. His instinct as a soldier told him to call for guards, but something deep in his chest told him to wait. He raised an eyebrow. "You're not one of ours. Who are you? How did you get past security?" She stepped closer, calm, unafraid, and laid the glowing sphere gently on the table in front of him. "My name is Sarai," she said. "I am not your enemy. I am here because what I carry is the only chance your people have to survive the war that is coming." Elias stared at her. The glow of the sphere reflected in her silver eyes, and for the first time in weeks, he felt a chill run down his spine. "You're saying humanity is already doomed?" Sarai's expression was unreadable. "Not doomed. Not yet. But you are running out of time. The Zorath do not just conquer planets. They erase civilizations. They mean to erase yours as well. Unless," she gestured toward the sphere, "you accept what I have brought." The commander moved closer, studying the object. It hummed softly, as though it had its own heartbeat. "What is it?" he asked. Sarai tilted her head slightly. "A seed. The last seed of my people. My civilization is gone. The Zorath destroyed us before we could use it. But it carries knowledge, technology, and something more. It can bind with your kind and unlock a strength you do not yet know you have." Elias narrowed his eyes. He had heard many desperate offers in times of war. Most were tricks. "And why give this to us? Why not hide it? Why trust humanity?" For the first time, Sarai's calm face shifted. Her voice grew softer, almost trembling. "Because I have seen your people fight. Not with the strongest weapons, not with the greatest ships, but with courage that should have been impossible. When the Zorath crushed our fleets, we ran. When they crushed yours, you kept coming back. Humanity is different. You endure. That is why the seed must be given to you." Elias looked at her carefully. Something in her words struck a chord, deep inside him. He thought of Earth, his home, his family, the billions of people who believed they were safe, unaware of how close extinction truly was. He thought of the soldiers who fought alongside him, many of them never returning. Humanity. Endured, yes, but could they endure this? Before he could speak, Sarai suddenly swayed as though her strength was failing. Elias stepped forward, instinctively catching her before she collapsed. She was cold to the touch, her body trembling. He carefully laid her across the bunk, his heart racing. The journey. It took too much from me, she whispered, her voice faint. But it does not matter. What matters is that the seed is in your hands now. Guard it, protect it, for within it lies the future of your people. Her eyes fluttered closed and silence returned to the room. Elias sat there, looking between the unconscious alien woman and the glowing sphere pulsing softly on the table. His thoughts spun wildly. What future was she talking about? What did this seed truly hold? Could it save humanity? Or was it a trap waiting to destroy them faster than the Zorath ever could? He clenched his fists, his soldier's instincts screaming with caution. But in his heart, he knew one thing. Whether it was salvation or destruction, this was now his burden to carry. And for the first time, Elias realized that the future of humanity might not be decided in grand councils or massive battles, but in the small, quiet choices made within his own room. The stars outside seemed to shimmer brighter as if watching. The war was coming, and Elias Vance had just been given the most dangerous gift in the galaxy. The next morning, Commander Elias Vance sat at the head of the long steel table in the War Council chamber. Around him sat the highest-ranking officers of the human fleet, along with representatives of the few alien allies who still trusted humanity enough to share the same room. The mood was tense, as always. Supplies were short, morale was broken, and every report from the outer colonies brought worse news. But today, the tension was sharper because Elias had something to show them. He placed the glowing sphere on the table. Its soft hum filled the silence. Dozens of eyes fixed on it, suspicion rising like smoke. "What is that?" Admiral Torres asked, leaning forward. Her tone was sharp, but beneath it Elias heard fear. Elias did not answer immediately. Instead, his eyes scanned the room. He could feel the weight of his decision pressing down on him, telling them the truth could change everything, or destroy the last threads of trust holding their fragile coalition together. Finally, he spoke. "This was brought to me last night by a survivor of a destroyed civilization. Her name is Sarai. She claims the Zorath destroyed her people, but before the end they created this. She called it a seed." The room erupted with whispers and mutters. One of the alien representatives, a scaled and sharp-eyed Thren, hissed, "You bring unknown technology into this chamber without testing it? Are you mad, human?" General Torres pounded her fist on the table. "He's right. For all we know, that thing could be a weapon. The Zorath are known for deception. How do we know this isn't their doing?" Elias stayed calm, though his heart beat fast. "Because I looked into her eyes. She wasn't lying. She was desperate, yes, but her words were real. She gave her life to deliver this to us. She believed humanity was the only race left strong enough to carry it." Another voice spoke, softer this time. It was Dr. Riva Patel, chief scientist of the fleet. "May I?" she asked, gesturing toward the sphere. Elias nodded. Carefully, Riva lifted the object. It glowed brighter in her hands, as if recognizing her touch. She adjusted her glasses and scanned it with her wrist device. Numbers and readings flooded the small screen. Her eyes widened. This is no weapon," she said slowly. "At least not in the traditional sense. The energy readings are beyond anything I've ever seen. It's alive, or something close to it. Its core holds data, but also something else, something biological." The Thren representative hissed again, his forked tongue flicking. "That is exactly what makes it dangerous. Biological weapons are the deadliest of all." "Not a weapon," Riva said firmly. "A key. A key to something we don't yet understand." The room fell silent again. Elias could feel the weight of every stare pressing on him. Finally, Admiral Torres leaned back in her chair. "So what now, Commander? Do you expect us to just trust this alien woman and her gift?" Elias's jaw tightened. He thought of Sarai lying unconscious in his quarters, her strength fading. He thought of her words, that humanity was different, that they endured. He thought of Earth, unaware of how close the Zorath truly were. "I don't expect you to trust blindly," he said. "But I do expect you to consider what this could mean. The Zorath are stronger than us. Everyone in this room knows it. Without an edge, humanity will fall. This seed might be that edge. If we ignore it, we may as well surrender now." The room fell into uneasy silence. No one wanted to admit it, but Elias's words were true. The Zorath had crushed fleets 3 times their size. Humanity's courage was great, but courage alone could not stop annihilation. Dr. Riva placed the sphere gently back on the table. It pulsed once, almost like a heartbeat, then dimmed again. "We need to study it," she said firmly. "Carefully, with full security. But if what this Sarai says is true, this could be the most important discovery in human history." The council murmured in reluctant agreement. The Thren alien shook his head. "Mark my words, humans. Whatever power lies inside that object will come at a cost. It always does." Elias met his sharp eyes. "Then humanity will pay the cost. Better that than extinction." The meeting ended without resolution, but the decision was made. The seed would be moved under heavy guard to the science division. Dr. Riva would lead T. The alarms blared across the station, echoing through every corridor like a warning drum. Red lights flashed across steel walls, casting long shadows that danced with urgency. Commander Elias Vance sprinted through the hallways, boots clanging against the metal floor. The Zorath fleet had arrived, larger and faster than anyone had predicted. "Status report," he barked at the communications officer, a young woman with a determined expression named Kira. "They're forming attack vectors, Commander," Kira said, voice steady despite the chaos. "Shields are holding, but the fleet isn't ready for a full-scale battle yet. Their numbers, they're overwhelming." Elias clenched his fists. He had expected danger, but nothing like this. The Zorath's shadow stretched over the station like a storm cloud ready to crush everything beneath it. He ran toward the science division, where the glowing seed was being kept. Dr. Riva Patel was there, her face pale but focused, as engineers and technicians worked around the sphere. Sarai was by the seed, her silver eyes glowing faintly in response to the red emergency lights. "Elias," Riva shouted, pointing to the data monitors. "The Zorath ships are faster than any prediction. They'll breach the outer defenses in less than 10 minutes. Elias stopped, breathing hard. He glanced at Sarai. "Do you have any idea how to use it? Anything that can help us now?" Sarai shook her head slightly. "It cannot be fully activated without time and focus, but there may be a way to accelerate it." "Accelerate it?" Elias repeated, heart pounding. "You mean we risk everything now?" "Yes," Sarai said softly. "The seed can bond with human energy, human determination. In the right hands, it can amplify your strength, your technology, even your mind. But the process is dangerous. If done wrong, it could destroy the station. Or worse, your people." Elias took a deep breath. Every fiber of his being screamed caution. Yet as he looked at the monitors showing the approaching Zorath fleet, he knew hesitation was not an option. Humanity would not wait for perfect knowledge when extinction loomed at their doorstep. "Do it," he said finally. "Prepare it. I'll do whatever it takes." Riva hesitated. "Are you sure, Commander? We don't know the consequences." "I don't need sure," Elias replied. "I need action." The scientists and engineers moved quickly, following Sarai's guidance. The seed's blue glow brightened as Elias approached. His hands hovered above it, feeling an almost magnetic pull. The energy within it pulsed, responding to his presence, as if recognizing him. "Focus on humanity," Sarai instructed. "Think of what you fight for. Let your will flow into the seed." Elias closed his eyes. Images of Earth, of his family, of cities and farms, of children playing under blue skies filled his mind. He thought of the soldiers who had given everything to protect their people. He thought of all the hope and courage humanity had shown, even when the odds were impossible. The seed pulsed faster, brighter, almost painfully so. Blue light spread through the room, coating every surface. The engineers shielded their eyes, while Sarai murmured words in a language Elias could not understand. Suddenly the hum of the station shifted. Systems that had been failing powered up. Shields strengthened. Weapons systems responded faster, targeting the approaching Zorath fleet with unprecedented accuracy. The seed was amplifying not just the technology, but the will of those operating it. Humanity's courage was becoming a force of its own. Through the viewport, Elias saw the first Zorath fighters breach the outer defenses. Missiles launched, but they were no longer easily dodged. The ships faltered under the precision of the amplified human fleet. Even with overwhelming numbers, the Zorath began to lose coordination. "Keep focusing," Sarai urged. "Let the seed guide your strategy. Trust your instincts." Elias felt energy coursing through him, almost like the heartbeat of the seed had merged with his own. Decisions that would normally take minutes formed instantly in his mind. He guided the fleet, coordinated attacks, and predicted enemy movements as if he could see the future. The human fleet struck with unmatched precision, entire waves of Zorath. Fighters were neutralized before they could hit the station. Shields held firm against heavy assaults. It was a display of coordination and courage that even the aliens could not predict. But the glow of the seed was blinding now, pulsing faster and faster. The energy in the room felt like it could tear the walls apart. Reva yelled over the din, "It's reaching its limit, we can't sustain this for long." Elias gritted his teeth, refusing to let go. The station's defenses were holding, but the Zorath were still advancing. One final wave of enemy ships approached, massive cruisers that dwarfed anything in the human fleet. Sarai's voice cut through the chaos. "Elias, one last push, channel everything, your courage, your will, your hope. Humanity must survive." With a roar that echoed in his soul, Elias focused. He poured every thought, every memory, every ounce of determination into the seed. The blue light exploded outward, encompassing the station, the fleet, even reaching into the void of space. The Zorath fleet recoiled as if struck by an invisible force. Weapons misfired, ships lost control, and one by one, the cruisers faltered and retreated. The survivors limped away, their formation broken, leaving the humans victorious. When the glow finally dimmed, Elias slumped to his knees, exhausted but alive. The seed's pulsing had slowed to a soft, steady rhythm. Sarai leaned against the table, her expression unreadable but her silver eyes reflecting relief. "We did it," Elias said, voice shaking. Sarai nodded. "Yes, for now. The Zorath will return. And the seed. It has shown what humanity can do when it refuses to yield. But this is only the beginning." Outside the viewport, the stars were calm once more. But Elias knew the battle was far from over. Humanity had been given a glimpse of its true strength, but the war against the Zorath had just begun, and with the seed in their hands, the real test of courage was only starting. The aftermath of the battle left the station buzzing with activity. Repair teams worked tirelessly, and the fleet reorganized itself after the surprise Zorath attack. But inside the science division, a quieter, more intense energy filled the room. Commander Elias Vance stood before the glowing seed, his hands folded behind his back. Dr. Reva Patel and her team of scientists surrounded the device, their equipment humming with the task of studying it in greater depth. Sarai rested nearby, still recovering from the exertion of linking the seed with Elias's energy during the battle. "The seed is unlike anything we've ever encountered," Reva said, adjusting the readings on her wrist monitor. "It responds to human cognition, emotion, even instinct. But it isn't just a tool. It's a living intelligence of sorts, waiting for the right connection." Elias frowned. "You mean, it can grow stronger the more humans work with it?" Reva nodded. "Exactly. But there's risk. Too much exertion too soon, and it could overload. We need to train carefully, build our understanding step by step." Sarai's silver eyes glimmered. "Humanity has never needed to rely on something like this before. You are capable of so much on your own. The seed is not a replacement for your courage. It amplifies it. But you must prove yourselves worthy to use it fully." Elias exhaled slowly. The weight of command pressed against him again. Humanity had survived the first strike, but if they wanted to endure the Zorath War, they had to master this mysterious power. Then we start today, he said. Set up a controlled trial. Let the soldiers and crew connect to the seed, carefully. The first session began in a large training chamber, modified to accommodate the energy of the seed. Volunteers, pilots, engineers, medics stood in a circle around it. The glowing sphere hummed, casting shifting blue light on their determined faces. Riva guided them. Close your eyes. Focus on why you fight. Focus on hope, courage, and the future. Let your determination flow into the seed. Let it respond. One by one, the volunteers extended their hands, feeling the gentle pull of energy. A warmth spread through them, stronger than anything they had ever felt. It wasn't just physical, it was mental, emotional. They felt clarity, confidence, and a strange connectedness to one another. Elias watched, noting subtle changes. Soldiers moved with more precision in training simulations, their instincts sharpened. Pilots executed maneuvers with uncanny skill. Engineers repaired machinery almost instinctively, predicting failures before they happened. This is incredible, Riva murmured. The seed amplifies their innate abilities, their creativity, their problem-solving. It's making them better humans. Sarai's eyes gleamed. This is the strength of humanity I spoke of. Courage alone can survive some battles, but courage with purpose, focus, and knowledge, that can change the course of history. Elias allowed himself a small smile. Humanity had been underestimated countless times by alien races, yet here, now, they were proving the impossible possible once again. But progress was not without challenges. The seed's energy had limits. Some volunteers felt dizzy or fatigued after prolonged contact. Riva and her team monitored carefully, documenting everything. Elias spoke to the volunteers. Listen, no one is required to risk themselves beyond their comfort, but every small step we take strengthens all of us. This is not just about survival. It's about becoming stronger than we ever thought we could be. Gradually, the team learned to pace themselves. They discovered techniques to focus their thoughts, control their emotions, and link their willpower to the seed safely. Each session were liddies. The stars were quiet that morning, but the calm was deceptive. Reports from scouts confirmed what everyone feared. The Zorath had regrouped. Their fleet was larger than before, and they were moving with a precision that suggested intelligence, beyond calculation. Humanity had survived one strike, but the war was far from over. Commander Elias Vance stood on the bridge of the flagship Endurance, looking at the display screens that showed approaching enemy ships. His jaw tightened. The seed, now safely integrated into the station's command systems, glowed faintly from its containment field. It pulsed with the energy of every human who had linked with it, a quiet reminder that humanity's potential was no longer latent, it was alive. Dr. Riva Patel joined him, holding her tablet. Commander, our pilots have been running simulations. With the seed, their reflexes, coordination, and tactical thinking improve exponentially. But even so, the Zorath numbers could overwhelm us if we make a mistake. Elias nodded. We won't make a mistake. This time we fight with more than ships and weapons. We fight with the strength of humanity itself. Sarai appeared beside him, her silver eyes calm but serious. The seed is ready, but remember, Commander, it is not magic. It amplifies what is already there. Courage, unity, and strategy must come from your people. The seed cannot replace them. It can only enhance them. Elias glanced at the viewports. The first Zorath cruisers were visible now, massive shadows moving across the void like predators. Humanity had the advantage of preparation, but the enemy was relentless. Signal all units, Elias commanded. Use the seed. Connect your minds, your focus, your courage. Every human who links with it strengthens the fleet. Every act of bravery will ripple through the seed. Make them feel that humanity will not break. The process was astonishing. Soldiers, pilots, and engineers touched the seed in controlled intervals, their minds connecting through it in ways that transcended words. Orders were anticipated before spoken. Fleet formations adjusted dynamically. Weapon systems responded with lightning precision. The energy of human will flowed through the seed, turning it into a network of collective strength. Elias could feel it himself, a sharp clarity in his mind, a surge of connection with every member of the fleet. Decisions that normally took minutes formed instantly. Enemy patterns became predictable. It was as if the courage, determination, and hope of every human amplified and focused through the seed had become a living force. When the first wave of Zorath fighters attacked, they were met with unprecedented coordination. Missiles were dodged, counterattacks executed with precision, and communication across ships flowed without delay. Entire enemy squadrons faltered, unable to adapt to the synchronized human response. The flagship Endurance fired a broad-spectrum energy pulse, strengthened by the seed, that disabled several Zorath cruisers without harming the station. Outside, the stars seemed to light with the brilliance of humanity's resolve. "This is incredible," Dr. Riva shouted over the communications network. "Their AI systems are overwhelmed. They can't predict our moves." Elias's voice was steady, but inside he felt the thrill of victory. "Keep pushing. Hold the line. Show them why humans never give up." Sarai's gaze met his. "You are doing more than surviving, Commander. You are proving the truth of what I said. Humanity's courage, when united, can achieve the impossible." The battle raged on. Wave after wave of Zorath ships came, but each time, humans used the seed to anticipate, adapt, and strike with precision. It was not brute force alone. Human ingenuity combined with the seed's amplification created a strategy that even the Zorath could not counter. Amid the chaos, a squadron of young pilots executed a daring maneuver, guided by instinct and the seed's energy. They flew directly into the path of a massive enemy cruiser, disabling its engines and turning it into drifting wreckage. Their bravery, enhanced by the seed, inspired every human who witnessed it. Elias watched from the bridge, feeling the pride swell in his chest. Humanity was no longer just reacting. They were leading, creating opportunities, seizing the fight. The Zorath, confident and relentless, were learning that this species was unlike any they had encountered. But victory was not without cost. Ships had been damaged, and the human fleet had taken losses. The seed glowed brighter than ever, straining to maintain the amplified energy. Riva's voice cut through the comms urgently. "Commander, the seed is reaching its limit. We need to scale back or risk damage to the station." Elias clenched his teeth. Retreat was not an option, not now, when humanity had the chance to turn the tide. "We maintain focus," he said. "We will finish this wave, then regroup. Everyone stay connected, stay determined. Humanity does not yield." The seed responded, pulsing with a rhythm that echoed the human heartbeat. Pilots, soldiers, and engineers worked in perfect synchrony. The final Zorath cruisers faltered, miscalculating their moves. One by one they were neutralized or forced to retreat. When the last enemy ship withdrew, silence fell across the fleet. The seed's glow dimmed, exhausted but still alive. Humans had survived the second strike, and they had done more. They had shown the galaxy the true strength of their species. Elias leaned on the railing of the bridge, exhausted but triumphant. Sarai approached him, her silver eyes reflecting pride. "You have done well, Commander. Humanity has survived the impossible. But the war is far from over. The Zorath will return, stronger and more determined. Remember this: the seed amplifies what is within you, but only you can decide how far humanity will rise." Elias nodded. "We've learned a lot today. The seed is a tool, yes, but humanity's courage, ingenuity, and unity are the real weapons. We will continue to grow stronger, and the Zorath will learn that humans do not yield to fear." Outside the viewport, stars stretched endlessly across the void. Humanity had fought back, using the strength within themselves amplified by the mysterious seed. They had won a crucial victory, but Elias knew that the war for the future of humanity had only begun. And for the first time, He felt certain of one thing. Humanity was not just surviving. They were becoming a force that could inspire the galaxy itself. The galaxy was alive with tension. The Zorath, furious from their defeats, had regrouped and amassed a fleet larger than anything humanity had faced before. Every sensor reading, every scout report, warned that this battle would decide the fate of Earth and every human colony. Commander Elias Vance stood on the bridge of the flagship Endurance, gazing at the looming shadow of the Zorath Armada. The station pulsed behind him, the seed safely contained and linked to every human willing to connect. He felt its energy faintly tugging at his mind, a reminder of the immense power humanity now carried within itself. Dr. Riva Patel approached, her tablet in hand. "Commander, our analysis shows the Zorath fleet is attempting a pincer maneuver. They intend to surround and overwhelm the station and the fleet simultaneously. Even with the seed, this will be the toughest battle yet." Elias clenched his fists. "Then we fight smarter, not just harder. Humanity has survived worse odds before. We will endure, and we will show them what humans are capable of." Sarai appeared beside him, calm but intense. "Remember, Commander, the seed amplifies what is already within your people: courage, unity, and resolve. They must come from humanity itself. Only then can the seed reach its full potential." Elias nodded. He turned to the bridge crew. "Prepare for the final engagement. Every pilot, soldier, and engineer connected to the seed will act as one. Remember why you fight: your families, your friends, your home. Let your determination flow through the seed. Humanity's future depends on it." The first wave of Zorath cruisers struck like thunder. Lasers and energy beams cut through the void, filling the battle with blinding light and deafening noise. But the human fleet, guided by the seed, moved with uncanny precision. Missiles dodged with perfect timing, counterattacks struck with surgical accuracy, and communication flowed across ships without delay. Elias felt the energy of the seed within him, connecting him to every soldier and pilot. He could anticipate moves, foresee enemy tactics, and guide the fleet in real time. Every human heartbeat, every thought of courage, flowed through the seed, amplifying their collective strength. The Zorath were stunned. They had never encountered an enemy so coordinated, so unyielding, so alive with determination. Their numbers, though vast, could not predict the ingenuity and adaptability of humans guided by the seed. Hours passed like minutes. Wave after wave of Zorath ships attacked, but each time humans adapted. Pilots executed impossible maneuvers. Engineers repaired critical systems instantly. Soldiers struck with precision that defied normal limits. And the seed pulsed in response, glowing brighter with every act of bravery, every display of courage. Elias led the fleet from the flagship, directing movements with a clarity he had never felt before. He felt connected to his crew, to the soldiers on distant ships, to the civilians who had linked with the seed to coordinate logistics and supplies. Humanity was not just fighting, it was thriving, stronger than the enemy could ever anticipate. During the battle, a massive Zorath battleship attempted to ram the station, intending to destroy the seed's containment. Elias acted instantly. He coordinated a multi-ship counterattack, exploiting every weakness of the enemy vessel. Guided by the seed, the human pilots executing the battleships in